constituents help promote legislation they align with or help with your goals?
So for folks who have been places where I've spoke before, I have consistently said, if you think your involvement in politics is your 15 seconds in the voting booth, you've already lost. We have no help. We go to Boise. Everyone says it's part-time. I put in about 20 hours a week. Some of these people up here put in more. Off session. We have no help at all. We don't have any aides. The running joke Heather mentioned, we came back from a family policy center meeting with actually wall builders, and every time they said they came out with new legislation, they said, make sure you inform your staff. And we would look at each other and laugh. We have no staff. So what we do need is we do need the involvement of each and every one of you in this room. The Freedom Caucus has the Idaho Freedom Caucus has a site, now that's separate, where you can go put your legislative ideas for bills in on that site and give us your ideas. You can reach out to every one of us through our legislative email. Our phone numbers are posted on the state site. Get engaged, get involved. And I don't think anybody in this room does, or you wouldn't be here. Don't vote, turn your back and go do your thing, because that's how we all woke up one day and say, how'd we get here? Because this is a citizen-led legislature. I'm just one of you folks. And everybody's in a different walk of life. We got firemen, engineers, computer people, biologists. There is a lawyer. And but we really do need the involvement. We need the groundswell of folks pushing these things forward. And I will make one step out on a limb and make one correction. This is a republic. We do respond to you, but not everything you want. If you want heroin, I'm not giving it to you.
Well, that's going to be a good soundbite. The reporters in the room get that one? Okay.
So within the confines of our republic and the Constitution of the U.S. and of the Constitution of Idaho, we do answer to you. But within those confines, that's why we're a republic. We have established rules. We don't want to go outside of that. We don't want to be the federal government that was given 17 enumerated powers and has expanded those into everyone's home. That's what we need to stop in the state of Idaho and retract that. We cannot do it without the help of everybody in this room and beyond. But if everybody in this room walked out the door and got 10 people to help them, that'd be a start. But it wouldn't be enough. So that's how you get involved.
Thank you.
Contact us.
Carl?
I'm not bragging or complaining. I wake up at 4:30 when I'm in session. I hope to get in bed by 11 o'clock at night. Being on JFAC and health and welfare, I have no time during the day to check my email. The best way you can help me is to contact me is through a text. I actually paid someone last session to just go through my emails. So a good way to help me is this is a representative government. I want to do my best to represent my constituent base. So when you send an email, make it individual, make it from you. And in the subject line, put the yes or the no on whatever the bill is that you guys want us to vote on. Because I have that same person that went through my email totaling up those statistics, which is really important to me. Because when I don't know 100% on how I'm going to vote on a particular bill, that means something to me when I start weighing how that survey has played out. I don't need to reiterate everything that Representative Hawkins said, but we don't have help. There is probably a sliding scale as to how much people are required to put in during session and in the interim. But the bottom line is we're doing our best. And if this is a wrap up, again, I just want to say that I am so proud of seeing everybody out here and happy that you came here today. I'm going to continue to do what I can to represent Idaho the best way I can. And I'm thankful and appreciative that you put me back into office. Thank you.
So I would comment, don't let this enthusiasm die. We have just had a fabulous 10 days in the this country because of what's happened nationally and locally, frankly. We've done a great job locally here. Keep up this enthusiasm for preserving this fabulous republic that God has granted us. We need to do that. And when you go to vote, bring a friend, because Heather had mentioned an election that was lost very narrowly. It was lost by 2 votes. We lost a very conservative legislator by just 2 votes. So make sure you do that. And just to go to emails briefly, don't send automated emails. There are these groups that will offer, the text of an email, and you sign on to it, and we get bombarded with 300, 400, 500 of those at a time. Once we read the first one, we don't want to read the others. Send us a personal email. I will respond to you on your personal email. I think some of you know that I do that as often as I can. Or call, and I'll call you back. So.
I'd like to reiterate what Joe said. This is something that I've not seen in my 6 years here to date, and that is we've been bombarded by a particular political group, and the state email system combined 471 messages into one and delivered it to me and said, you've received 471 messages, and they were all the same. Not only do we lose what area of the state those might be coming from, we lose individuals who might have written that form letter. So form letters are my least favorite, and they carry very little weight. It's just one of those clickbait things where, oh, if you're in favor of this, push the button here and your name goes in. Send us a personal email. Now, in addition to that, the more personal it is, the better it is. On my way into the room this morning, or this afternoon, I got 2 people that approached me with information packets of projects that are their pet projects that I will be looking into. Both of these I have already supported in the past, but this is the kind of information that we need, personal, one-on-one, where you have done some homework instead of saying, gee, look at the chemtrails up there, do something about it. I get handed a packet of material that's got DOD information on it. There you go. So satisfy your own curiosity by, instead of putting the burden on somebody else to research it, do some research for us. That would help us out immensely.
Yeah, I think along those lines I had offers of help and just aware of the bills that are coming through, other than the 3 committees I'm on. This is where, we have a full day, and it does start early, and we work our way through it. And Phil Hart, he's the one that drafted me in 2010 to run here, and the first thing he said was that this is a ministry. This is very much a ministry, but it takes time and it takes energy. So any help that we can get in terms of knowing what the bills are, what your perspective is on those bills, as quickly and succinctly as possible is great. These automated emails are coming fast and furious, hundreds at a time. It's fascinating to read them, and they're from my district, and you want to respond, and you find yourself copying and pasting the same response, and it's very, very cumbersome. But isn't this a great group of people? This is the greatest group of people up here I've had since the 14 years I've been here. I really appreciate your help. Thank you very much for coming. Really great to see the parking lot full and to see this, many people here. It's good to see that you're interested and that you're concerned. Now you've got to remain active, stay active. Thanks again.
So North Idaho is way different than the rest of the state. And he's right, these are great people, and we are building a machine in this state. We really are. And we're getting organized. How citizens can help. I actually took some notes on my way down here. Number 1, educated and engaged. Make sure you understand. Just understanding things helps a lot. And understanding fact from fiction, the big tagline saying something, there's always people trying to undermine us. So getting the facts is important. Understanding the system, knowing how the committee systems work is critical. Knowing how to call in and testify is very helpful to us when we're down there. There's always a ton of people lined up from Boise, but now they take remote testimony, so you can literally just call in and give your testimony. Usually, you know, you have like 250 people in favor of transgendering children and like 5 that are against it. So those kinds of things are important. Signing the petitions. They are collecting your emails so they can market you and fundraise. If you want to donate money, each one of us up here can take up to $1,000 per person. So we can take $1,000 from you, your spouse, your business. That is what helps us to get reelected, to pay for staff to help us. We also have the Freedom Caucus PAC, Idaho Freedom Caucus PAC, where we can unlimited. So if you're really rich, you wanna fill up that coffer, that would be great. Understand when I say educating, knowing how property taxes work, knowing it's not your legislator's fault that your property tax went up. It's because your county just doubled their budget. Those kind of things are helpful because then we don't have to keep explaining, like, going through that. Let's see, securing candidates locally. If you can get good county commissioners, we can work with county commissioners and we can share ideas. Replacing all your school boards and your library commissioners, that's critical. It seems like it's not a big deal, but it's huge because it keeps that momentum growing, and that's where we really need to work for next spring. Mayors and county commissioners and councilmen.
Could you make those nonpartisan races? Can you change them?
Can we change them? We can change them to partisan races, and I think that's actually on our list to do. So that's it. And then me personally, what would be helpful to me is I need like 5 people that can help me with research. That I can just call and say, hey, here's this. Can you give me some information on this? Just little tasks, some kind of random tasks here and there. Always also social media. We're down there doing bills and that. Keeping an eye on our social media, sending us things and say, hey, this would be, I work with people that give me ideas to post. That helps us to kind of keep staying out in the social media, or say, hey, somebody's really attacking you. Make sure you go look at this or go respond to it. And then organizing our data. I mean, I've got like jobs for a ton of people. If anyone wants to help specifically and help the Freedom Caucus, I can set you up. And the last thing is prayer. It is a spiritual battle we are in. It is constant spiritual battle, and prayer is critical. That's what gets us through. That's what keeps us going, and that's why we continue to do it. So, thank you.
So once again, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for those who voted to re-elect me. I am truly honored that you trust me as your representative. One thing I want to point out is when Dale read the Constitution, was there anything in the Constitution that said those schools had to be government run? I agree. Any email short and to the point. If we're having to read 800 emails, if they're short and to the point, it makes it easier for us to get through them. And I had several emails this last session that just, all they did was send encouragement. You're doing a great job. We appreciate how you voted on this bill. Keep up the good work. Those were amazing because they almost always came at a time when it was a struggle. So send emails of encouragement. Once again, short and sweet, but just send emails of encouragement. And I totally agree with what Heather said. We can feel your prayers down there. So if you're praying for us, continue to do that. If you're not, please do.
Ken, you have any final thoughts for Jordan?
I do. Since I represent Jordan Redmond here, one thing that he asked me for sure, I'm going to echo, I have shadowed Jordan for 2 sessions. I was down there 3 days each time. And this is horse trading. You know, every one of these guys here, especially in the north, being the conservative part of the state, you're trying, like everybody clapped to have a Bible in the schools. Well, Heather, like what she said, now you can testify. You only get 2 minutes. Everybody gets 2 minutes. So you could remotely get on there, get ready because they will shut you off right at 2 minutes, but whether you're in person, but it's just be engaged. That's what he wants. Jordan is a bill, he's gonna put up these bills. He definitely needs your support on the conservative side. But this group right here is the most unified group of conservatives from North Idaho. I can attest to that.
Thanks, Ken. I like to brag about all of you when I'm down in Boise. When I come back, we have a town hall meeting scheduled, and they say, well, what do you got to go back for? And I said, well, there's going to be 200 people there. You know, these are our constituents. Our folks are engaged. They're in the middle of everything. And there are 200. So you guys are the best. There's no community like this community, I think, as far as political engagement goes. We appreciate everything you do, all of your support. All I can do is echo the email stuff. Just make sure it's not some form letter. Make sure we know it's you. You don't have to give us your home address, but just say where you're from somewhere in there so we know it's actually one of our people. That helps us a lot because we've got to kind of just run through a lot of those because most of it's spam. And then I think essentially it's a Zoom call when you want to testify on an issue. It's real easy, and it really helps us combat what the media likes to do down in Boise, which is they'll report 500 people testified against a bill and only 10 testified in favor of it. But they're, it's because all the Democrats live there and they show up and testify in person. So it would be helpful if we got a little more people showing up on that front. But that said, you all are great. Thank you so much for everything. I was so proud that we whooped Prop 1 the way we did. We sent those guys a message, don't come back. So thank you so much.
It's impossible to